Hi, good evening, South Effingham parents, and welcome to our Fall Parent Night. This is April Harvey, your instructional supervisor. For tonight's agenda, we are going to introduce the SEHS administration, as well as talk about tips for virtual learners and traditional learners. Our counselor, Ms. Coburn, is going to join us for our top 4 strategies for success. Mr. Greg Miles, our instructional technology lead, is going to share technology tools that you can use as parents. And then Dr. White is going to conclude our parent night with a live session on Facebook and YouTube at 6:35 p.m.
Good evening, Mustang Nation. I am Dr. White, the proud principal of South Effingham High School, and I want to welcome you to our Fall Virtual Parent Night event. I'm proud to work with a group of outstanding professionals. These are administrators and counselors who are working with our students and our staff on a daily basis. Thank you for joining us this evening, and I'll be back with you very shortly.
Hey guys, I'm Nick Smith. I'm the 9th grade administrator. I just want to tell you welcome this year. So whether you're a rising 9 or whether you're a returning student, we're off to a great start, and I just hope we continue. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Miss Lawson. I am the 10th grade administrator. Welcome to our parent night. We're really excited that you're here to join us, and we can't wait to see how great this year is.
Hey Mustang Nation, hey, I'm Jeff Faith. I'm your athletic director and 11th grade administrator. Hey, we welcome you back. Hey, we're excited about this school year, and always remember your outlook will make up your outcome.
All right, good evening. I'm Mrs. Curry. I'm the 12th grade discipline specialist. I just want to welcome our freshmen, and I want to welcome back, send out a welcome back to our sophomores, juniors, and seniors. Go Mustangs!
Good evening, I'm Crystal Schumann. I'm your new assistant principal here at South Effingham High School. I'm in charge of bus discipline and dress code. Welcome, and I'm proud to be here in Mustang Nation.
Hi, good evening, South Effingham High School parents. I'm April Harvey. I'm the instructional supervisor at South Effingham High School. We're here on your side, looking to support you. So reach out if you have questions and concerns. We're here for you.
Hi Mustangs, my name is Kyler Stone. I'm one of the school counselors at South Effingham High School. If your last name begins with the letters A through D, I am your counselor.
Hi Mustang family, I'm Ashley Rayleigh, and if your last name is E through K, you belong to me this year. I hope that everybody is working hard, and I hope that this year has been a positive experience for you so far.
All right, good evening Mustangs. My name is Yatasha Lloyd, and if your last name begins with the letters L through Q, then I am your counselor, and I'm happy to help you in any way that I can, and know that together we can.
Hey Mustangs, I'm Michelle Coburn. I am the counselor for students whose last names begin with R through Z. Cannot wait to meet all of you face to face. I hope you're having a great year. Do your work.
Hi, I'm Miss Megley. I'm the school social worker. I can help with all different situations, and I have all sorts of resources, so if you find yourself in need, feel free to reach out. I'm happy to help.
All right, as I said before, parents, we have a group of outstanding professionals here at South Effingham High School. So whether you are a 9th grade student, whether you are a new family to our community joining our school for the first time, or you are a returning Mustang, all of our faculty and staff are here. We're committed to making sure that our students have everything they need to be successful here at SEHS. So a little bit about what this video will entail. First, you will hear some SEHS updates. You'll hear from some of our teachers as it relates to virtual learning. There will be some information about traditional learner tips for parents, for those students who are coming to school each day in the brick building. You'll also hear from one of our virtual learning teachers who will give you some support resources for tips about virtual learning. You will also hear from our counselors as they will give a top 5 strategies for student success once our students are leaving South Effingham High School. And then the most important part of our presentation tonight will include some information from our instructional technology specialist. He will briefly review a lot of the tools that many of our students are using, including Google tools, Google Meet, Screencastify, some of those resources. So please sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
For traditional learners, we have 3 tips for success this fall. First tip is Google Classroom. All traditional teachers at South Effingham High School are utilizing Google Classroom. You can sign up to become a guardian within Google Classroom for your student by emailing your student's teacher. Makeup work. If you have a student who is absent from school, make sure to have your student check Google Classroom for the instructional materials as well as classwork so that they don't get behind. Student progress. Make sure to check Parent Portal for live student grades. We have a school-wide tutorial schedule posted on the SEHS website. Hard copies are also available in the counselor's office.
Here's just a few more tips for you virtual learners. Have your student log into Google Classroom together to review grades and to keep up with progress. Most grades are not in Infinite Campus right now. We are only putting those in Infinite Campus for progress reports and final grades. You can also sign up for Guardian Summaries in Google Classroom. Email your student's teacher if you need to sign up for this feature. Attendance. If students are unable to attend class for the day, have them email their teachers to let them know and get makeup work. Live sessions are recorded and posted in Google Classroom. Finally, if you have questions, email teachers directly with questions rather than posting questions to individual assignments within Google Classroom. That way, those questions won't get lost and teachers will directly have your email address to get back with you quickly. First of all, Google Meet sessions that are live are synchronous sessions and they are mandatory and critical. Every student needs to be present for the live Google Meet session. Additionally, a working camera is a requirement for all VLO students to take county CIA assessments. Pay attention to due dates. 11 points will be deducted for each day the assignment is late. After day 3, the assignment will no longer be accepted. Attendance is important. Students must answer the attendance question by 3:45 p.m. in order to be marked present. The class schedule is important as well. Every class only meets twice a week, so it is important that every live session and every assignment be completed. Additionally, every VLO teacher has designated office hours. You can check their Google Classroom to find out what those are.
The counselor's top 4 tools for success. The first tool is to participate. We want you to participate in school and/or community-based activities that interest you. Our second tip is to prepare. Please maintain your GA Futures account to check your HOPE GPA and start college and career planning, and know your plan to meet the requirements for graduation. Tip 3, practice. Develop good study habits early, attend tutorials. Your HOPE GPA begins today. Tip 4 is to plan. Keep track of your awards, recognitions, extracurricular engagements. Juniors and seniors, sign up to take that ACT or SAT and start applying for scholarships now.
All right, folks, I'm Greg Miles, a media specialist at South Effingham High School, and I want to show you a few tech tips, mainly with Google Classroom, that I think may be beneficial to you. So let's get started. First thing I'd like to do is talk about how to log in. There's a couple the ways that you can log in, okay? If you have a Chromebook, whether it is a personal device or a school-issued device, you're going to want to use your @Effingham address, okay, to log into the device. If you have a personal device, it will allow you to log in with your personal account and then switch to your @Effingham account. You don't want to do that. It will cause conflict, so please don't do that. So you'll log in with your first initial, middle initial, last name, @Effingham.K12. You'll type in your password, and then your screen will look very similar to this, okay? You'll notice this will probably be a blue book bag instead of an S here. And then we'll talk about the differences there. So that's logging into into a Chromebook, all right? Now let's talk about logging into a laptop, all right? You'll notice up at the top that I've got 2 icons. With this screen, I only had 1, okay? On a Chromebook, I'm only gonna have 1 because it's automatically logged into Chrome. However, on a laptop or a desktop, I have the option of logging into Chrome, not logging into Chrome, or logging into Chrome differently. So you always want these 2 to match, okay? I won't say always, but for all of our South Effingham students, you're going to want this to match. Because things just work better. All right, you're always going to want to use Chrome, and this is again on a laptop or desktop. Always use Chrome when you're working on G Suite stuff, and you're going to want to make sure that you sign in and make sure that that is your book bag. It's probably going to be a blue book bag. If it's not and you can't find it, you just click Add, and then it will add, and you can add your account, and you're good to go. To switch it, you would just go down here and there'll be a list of them, and you'll just choose your Add Effingham account and go. And then you'll log in kind of like normal with your Add Effingham account here. So you just want to make sure both of these are your blue book bag when you're using a laptop or a desktop. Okay. The last thing I want to talk about logging in is a phone. Yes, you can do it from a phone or a tablet or an iPad, but it is not recommended at all. Okay. There's a bunch of other reasons that I won't go into that we don't want to use tablets and phones and things, but here's one reason as it pertains to Classroom. With Classroom, sure, you can get this pulled up here, but you have to make sure that you're in the right account. And if you have multiple accounts on your phone, most of the time, most of us do not log out of those. We just switch accounts. That can cause problems. The second thing to worry about is if you're using, all Google Classroom is a link, usually, to something else in Google. It's a link to a Google Doc, a link to a Google Drive, a link to a Google Sheet, slide, something like that. When you link to that, not only do you have to have the app downloaded, because it's a separate app from Classroom, so you'll need to make sure you download the app, you'll also have to be logged in with that app. So you can be logged into Google Classroom one way, and Google Docs or Drive or Slides or whatever the other way, and it still would cause you issues. So you'll want to make sure that everything is logged in appropriately. Okay, so for that reason and others, we recommend that you do not use phones. All right, so now how do we get into Google Classroom? Well, the easiest way is probably to do classroom.google.com, or you could come up to your three dots, and I will illustrate right here. You've got three dots, and I'll show you just a second when this is going. I'll pull that back up, but this will slide right back up there, but because I'm in where I'm at, it doesn't. And then if you're in a Chromebook, it'll be down at the bottom, and it'll just be the universal sign for Classroom, right? And then the screen will pop up. So let's move this over, okay? And by the way, there is the three dots I was talking about. Okay, you would click on those, and you would choose Classroom, okay? When you first open up Classroom, you're going to go to the main dashboard. I only have one class in this example, but most students will have multiple classes, and they'll just pick the class that they want to go to. Notice that I have a blue book bag, so that is good. I know that mine's a little different, but that's because I'm having to demonstrate and it's different. So in this case, they are separate, but as students should be the same in a laptop situation or desktop situation. In a Chrome situation, they will not have that because it's automatically logged in to Chrome. All right, so let's go over Google Classroom and all that's here. So the first thing you're going to want to do, or I'm just going to kind of move through this: stream, classwork, and people. Okay. I'll tell you what. Before we get to stream, classwork, and people, let's go over here to these three lines here. Classes, we're going to cover calendar in a minute. There is the to-do list, okay, that we'll cover as well. And then there are archived classes, and I suggest that every student do this with their old classes. They can archive them. They can retrieve them if they need to for some reason. But this is where you would archive classes. And then there's a settings button down here that you can turn off email notifications and different things. Now, be careful with this because you do want to be notified of it. But that is most people are not aware of this over here and don't go into settings. So just be aware that that's there. Okay. So let's talk about Stream. Stream's the main page, the landing page where you get every time that you log into Google Classroom. Three main things I want to talk about here. Here's your stream. This is everything that the teacher has assigned, whether it's an announcement, an assignment, a material section or something. It'll all just come in here in the order that they posted it. All right. The second area is the to-do. Now this is the same to-do as here. Okay. But it will show you the things that you have upcoming. So I have one thing due on Monday. If I click on this link, it'll take me right to it, and I could complete this assignment and turn it right in. Okay. All right. I don't want to do that yet, so I'm going to back out. So we've talked about the mainstream, we've talked about the to-do. The third thing is the Google Meet link. all right? Most teachers use this as their single Meet link, so as long as you log in at the right time, then you should be able to go. Now, if you click on it, and let's see if we click on it now, it's going to tell you something went wrong. You can't create a meeting yourself. Contact your system administrator. Well, what that means is if you're joining a meeting from Google Classroom, wait for your teacher. All right, that just means the teacher hasn't logged in yet. This isn't a technology problem or anything. It just means the teacher hasn't opened up that class yet. So just wait. Now, what we are finding, especially for virtual students, is they are not logging in at the appropriate time. They are following the schedule of a regular school day, and virtual students do not do that. Virtual students have their own set. Your class may meet on Tuesday or Mondays and Thursdays, or Tuesdays and Fridays, or something like that. So be sure to check with your teacher about the time that you're supposed to be meeting if you're having trouble with that. All right, so that's Stream, To Do, Google Meet, and the mainstream area. All right, now we're going to click on Classwork. There's several things here. All right, so I'm going to click on, we'll just work our way across again like we did before. So we're going to click here on View Your Work. Well, first of all, Classwork is just a set of topics that the teacher has divided. In my case, I've only done 2, quiz and homework, and we'll go through those in just a second. You can view your work. So any assignments that you have that have been assigned to you or returned to you, or that you have not done, like you're missing, will appear here. Okay. So if I look at the assignment, I have an assigned thing. That's the thing that's due on Monday that I need to do. I have some returned work, okay, but I don't have anything missing. So let's look at the returned work right now. So if I look at my returned work, quiz number 2, I can tell that I made 100 on that assignment. I could look into view details and go further in, but I won't at this time. I can go to assigned, all right? So I could click on this and work off of it. I won't yet, but I could. And now I'm going to back up a little bit. And I'm going to go back to this page, all right? So that's where you view your work. So it's a different way. It's really just a different way to categorize this page. Still the same stuff, but it's just in assigned or returned or missing versus the topics that the teacher, the subject areas that the teacher divided it up in, all right? You can also, this may get very long and linked, because as you go throughout the year, you're going to have a lot of homework, and it may put quizzes, may push homework down. If you want to see just what your homework is, you click here. If you just want to see the quizzes, you click here. If you want to see them all, you click here, all right? Here's another Google Meet link, same one as this one, all right? So it'll work the same way, all right? We'll talk about Google Calendar a little later. And you don't want to use the Class Drive folder. It creates a folder in your Google Drive called Classroom, but do not use that. It will cause issues on the front end here. All right, so let's look at the mainstream here in Classwork. As I said, I've already completed quiz 2, and it's graded, and I can look at my view, my work, and I'll see the grade for it. All right, so we won't do that one again. Quiz, and I've already actually taken this quiz, but if I had not, I would click on here. I would take the quiz. It's just a simple multiple choice, and if my teacher allowed me to, I could click view score and see my score. Okay, that's a setting that the teacher chooses, so that may or may not be available to you until I made 15 out of 15 there. All right, so I'm going to back up. Not hard to do when you created the test. All right, homework. All right, so this is a little different. These were quizzes, all right, which is very common, but the other thing that may happen is you may have just a regular Google Doc. So I'm going to open this up, and I'm going to go here, and I'm going to open up this document, and the assignment could be, one of many. So we're just going to give it a second to load. And it's going to say, write the names of your media central teams. I'm going to put Ms. Murray, Ms. Alford, Mr. Miles. All right. Now you'll notice this turn in button. Okay. Once I've completed my assignment, if the teacher has created this in Google Docs or anything Google, I will have the turn in button and I can submit it that way. If not, they will have attached assignments, and instead of it being a button where I turn it in, back here on this page, let's get back here. When I view assignment, there will be a turn in. The turn in button will be right here. Okay, so and you can click that and turn it in. Okay, I'll give it just a second to. And you can unsubmit, get it back, rework on it, whatever you need to do. All right. So I'm going to close out a few of these things here. Yep. And that, I don't know if you noticed that or not, but as it popped up, it said that my use had expired. That's because I had turned it in, and the teacher has it now, and they have to send it back to me before I could actually do anything with it. Okay. All right. So I'm just over here checking, making sure that I've got my right thing up. So that was classwork. We did the normal kind of daily work, homework type thing. We did the quizzes. I showed you this. Okay. I think that's pretty much it for classwork. People you won't use much, but you could contact your teacher very easily by emailing them right there. Okay. Just click the link, and your email will pop up with your teacher. Okay. So that's Stream, Classwork, and People. Now let's go back to Stream and let's talk about Meet. Now Meet here is going to get, I'm going to have to do some clicking around. So what I'm going to do first of all, I'm going to go in as a student. So what's going to happen if I click here? We've already, as I've shown you before, it's going to say you can't create a meeting yourself. So now I'm going to go in as a teacher. Just bear with me as I get it started. I'm going to turn on the Google Meet. You're going to probably hear a little feedback as I mute that. I'm going to ask it to reload. Now I could go back here and click on this again. Let's see what happens if I click reload. Now it's good to go. And the reason it's good to go is because the teacher went in there. Now, am I in the meeting yet? I am not in the meeting. You're about to see my head come up on the screen really big. But I am not in the meeting because I have not clicked join now. I could go ahead and mute myself and turn my video camera off before I join the meeting. So I'm going to do that. Now, this is a little complicated because I've got a lot of video going on here. So this is actually showing from my but this is okay because I want to show you Google Meet. Okay, so some things in Google Meet, I'm going to move this around, that you need to know about. First of all, this will not work because my microphone is muted right now, but turn on captions works most of the time if you have your microphone. Well, it works if you have your microphone on. And what that will do, even if you're not hearing impaired, it will allow you, sometimes in a large group, you don't know who said the question, and it will actually put that person's name in there so that you can see who stated the question. All right, and so that is why I suggest using the turn off captions. You can see the individual's names as they speak. All right, so I'm going to turn that off. Now, I am not going to follow through on this because I am now already 3 live feeds deep, so I don't want to crash my computer, but I will go this far. If the teacher asks you to share your screen, or you need to share your screen for some reason, what you do is you click present now down here in the bottom, and it's going to give you 3 choices. I think what you always want to do is share your entire screen. It just gets easier. If you share a window and you move out of that window or tab, it sometimes turns things off, and also I always just share my entire screen. Okay, and then it's going to ask you to choose your screen. Okay, in most cases you only have one screen, but you still have to click it. All right, and then you click share. I'm not, but this is all you would do. And then what would happen is, just like you're seeing my screen now, you would see the screen pop up. All right, the 3 dots over here in the right corner. Change layout. A lot of people like the tiled. I prefer the tiled. It is 16. You can see up to 16 people in your screen at one time. That is hopefully by the end of the month, or I should say in October, it will change to 49 at one time. So that is something. I do not like Spotlight because it flips back and forth with everyone who is talking, and that gets very confusing. So if you're having trouble with that, check out Tiled. Turn on captions is the same, full screen, same. Settings is where you check your audio and your video and make sure that you are using whatever you prefer. It even has some tests for you to do there. Okay. And then if we click there, and we'll go here, and we'll go. All right. So use a phone call. You have the ability to use a phone if your audio is not working. All right. So moving across, we have 3 buttons here. These are probably the main 3. This is to turn on and off your camera. This is to turn on and off your audio, your microphone. And this is to leave the call, to hang up, which I'll do shortly. And so there's also hid under here is the ability to join code and different things. You don't need to do that. That just your teachers will do that. All right. So when I'm done, I will just hang up. Okay. So I'm going to click hang up from there. I'm going to close that tab. I'm going to click here. I'm going to click hang up from here. Close that tab. I'm going to make sure that I'm in the proper classroom. I'm going to move that back down there. So that was Google Meet. Okay, not difficult at all. And then the last thing I want to show you is back in Classwork, Google Calendars. Many ways to get to Google Calendar. I can use calendar.google.com. I can click my little 3 dots here if I'm on a laptop or a desktop. I can go down to the bottom, click my apps if I'm on a Chromebook. Lots of different things I can do. But what I did want to show you is that in Calendar, the event that you have to do, you've got an assignment that is due, it will show up in the calendar. Okay, you can see mine is down here because it was at midnight. It's way down here at the bottom. But this is the assignment from my class that I am taking. All right, so the same one that appears here, which was it here, but now it's gone, is down because I just completed it. Is actually going to be, and there's an example of it still left over. So it's going to be right here, okay, in Calendar. Now, Google Calendar is a whole nother separate training video, but I suggest just open it up and start using it and playing with it, and you'll figure a lot of this out. But this is Google Calendar. If you have, some people have multiple calendars. This will be your name here. I'm sorry, it'll be your class here, your Google Classroom right here. So I'm going to click, and beside those 3 little dots, beside the name of the calendar, I'm going to click on Settings, and I can choose to get notifications in this calendar. Okay, there we go. And so it has notifications. I could get emailed, or I could get a message sent to my computer. Okay, 10 minutes, 2 days, whatever before the event. Okay, so that's Google Calendar. Now you have the ability to download the Google Calendar app, which I strongly encourage you to do, to download that and the Gmail app, because your teachers notify you through Gmail often. So download the Gmail app, download the Google Calendar app, and set your notifications on your phone. Your to-do stuff will come directly to your phone. It'll pop up and tell you. So use your phone for something other than playing games. You've got all of these resources. Sometimes it's not the best scenario. Sometimes it is. Google Calendar and a phone work great together. I wouldn't recommend doing your classwork on a phone, but I certainly recommend that you download the Google Calendar app, set up the notifications correctly, and get notified. Okay? So that was Stream, Classwork. We talked about people. We talked about the Meet. We talked about Calendar. We did not talk about this because you do not need to use it. So I'm going to quickly scroll over here. All right, and so that is kind of Google Classroom in a nutshell. Now, some other resources, some other places that you can view for this. If you go to our Effingham Schools website, so I'll just start back here. If I go to my Effingham Schools website, a great deal of time has been spent on creating a technology page for parents. This is and students. So you can see I've broken it down. Here's one just on Chromebooks. Here's one just on Google Classroom. Here's one just on Google Meet. You'll find a lot of what I said, plus some broken down here. And it may be various teachers. It may be links to other YouTube videos, but it's stuff that we think will be helpful for you. All right. And then lastly, depending on what school you're at, not depending, actually, whatever school you're at, if you will go right up here and you will click on South Effingham High School or whatever school you're at, you'll have our page pop up, and then you'll go to Teachers, and you'll have the teacher directory. And you'll be able to access any of your teachers this way, and they may have additional information on their websites. All right, so that is Google Classroom and the website in a nutshell. Hope you learned something. Please reach out to us if you have any questions.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us this evening to conclude our time together. I want to remind you about our live at 6:35. Please join us. I will be answering some of your questions. Specifically, you'll be able to ask your questions at this link. So you will have this link. If there's a specific question you have about virtual learning, or even something that you would just like to find out more about South Effingham High School, go to this link and you'll be able to ask your question. And then when we go live at 6:35, we'll be answering these questions. Thank you so much for joining us once again here at South Effingham High School.